Alright guys, on this episode we are heading down to my favorite place in Virginia to hunt, and that is the southwest area of Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're going to be heading out to the cabin where I've been hunting since I was in high school with my dad, and just as it has in years past, it provided us with another great hunt. Alright, it is Friday, October 20th. We've got me and the wife and Caden came up to the mountains where our cabin's at, and we're going down to Ferrum tomorrow to watch homecoming. And I figured, why not stop in, put a couple hunts together. Got here around noon, grabbed some lunch, got the gear all packed up, walked in the rain. It was supposed to move out about 3 o'clock, and it has. The sun's poking out now. We are set up in this little S-curve on an old logging road that we have talked about, God, years, about we should set up in here, because every year there's a bunch of scrapes in this bend that comes down off of one of these ridge faces. Every year we say that. You know how many years we've hunted it? 0. So on the way in, I got to that bend, and sure enough, there's 2 very fresh scrapes in it. Like I said, it's been raining pretty much all day, and the dirt and the scrapes are still pretty fresh and turned over. They're not matted down or anything like that. So game plan is we're gonna hunt this afternoon, probably hunt it again in the morning. You know, it's national forest, public land, not gonna be super picky. We're not trying to kill the next state record, but with that said, and I've killed my biggest buck out of this national forest. So they're here, they're around, they're just tough to kill. Usually we set up on the next ridge over. This is where I've got a bunch of footage of me passing on a lot of deer. But today I figured with everything going on, fresh scrapes, why not try it out? We always say we're going to and never do. So today we are. Let's kick back, relax. Let's see if we can't get us a little bonus public land buck. Let's get hunting. So the first afternoon, didn't see a whole lot of deer. Had that small spike come work his way through the bottom of the ridge there feeding. So we kind of snuck out of there a little bit before dark to get out of there early, not to bust anything. And planned on getting back in that same stand bright and early the next morning. All right, it's our last morning in the mountains. Rained all day yesterday, didn't really see much, saw one little spike. So we're gonna set up, get a quick hunt in this morning, and see what happens. Dude, that happened out of nowhere. It's been slow pretty much all morning. And happened to check over my shoulder and see that buck coming up the ridge. Not a big deer, just a solid basket rack, 8. Came and fed around at 30 yards. I had to like squat down. I tried sitting down in my seat, but I had a little twig in the way, so I ended up having to squat down to get under it. Got a shot. Looked a little high, but with the angle we're at, him being lower on the ridge, me being up high, I think that arrow should have got down and caught the top of those lungs, especially on the way out. So we're going to just hang tight, get everything packed up, and we'll go ease on down there and see if we can't find blood. He had the arrow still in him. As he ran off, I watched him do a big loop and head up this way. So I'm gonna go back, watch the footage, and slowly pack up and go from there and see what we need to do. Long and the short is, while I was filming the blood trailing and a quick interview afterwards, ton of feedback on the microphones, and it's crap audio. So instead, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of how that went. And basically what happened is we tracked that buck from the point of the shot for a mile and a half using the Onyx tracker, marking blood and keeping our distance and looking at what the deer was doing. And as we got deep into that blood track, we kind of realized it was probably just going to be a muscle hit, that it went through the backstrap and didn't actually hit anything vital, as the blood went from pretty decent and it basically petered out pretty quick to quarter and dime size drops of blood for a bulk of the track. The deer even zigzagged back and forth up and down some of the logging roads out there and actually went back by my truck, went up the mountain, and then came back by before it ended up petering out into nothing. If you look at where the arrow impacted that deer and ran the shot backwards, holding that point of impact on where the arrow hit, the shot was on. It was going to go right through the middle of the lungs. However, as I was setting up for the shot, the seat bumped up against the trunk of the tree, made a noise, which is why that buck threw his head up like he did. And I think that's what caused him to have such an adverse effect when the sound of the shot went off. It caused him to duck, which caused me to go through the back straps and not get a vital shot. All right, so not a great start to the season, obviously. I've got a miss, and I've got a backstrap burner through a nice little state land buck. Not ideal. You know, we can't just show all the good stuff without showing some of the bad stuff that sometimes happens throughout our season. So, bad stuff, it's out the way. From here on out, it is nothing but smooth sailing, full freezers, and a handful of tags punched for the remainder of the season. So y'all stay tuned, stick with me. I promise it gets better as we go on. Till next time, pen 'em and stick 'em.